So we see our Excel spreadsheet here, and we've got our table of surfaces shown here. What we're going to do, or we've done it already, we put in the actual data that we collected on the floors, and we found that the highest point was on a carpet, so everywhere other than the carpet had to have some compensation for the difference in level. This was the wood floor or the tile, and so we put in ones to cover it all. The next step is to put the table of readings in, and in the video before you saw how we actually did that. We put in the readings from the data. We went here from minus 2.1 right to here to plus 1.2, and we put that data into the spreadsheet step by step. We have 4 columns and 8 rows. It gives us 32 data points. We don't have to carry out any work or enter any data into the next table. It's calculated readings. You can see it's P1 to P4 and then the data down here. And what this has done is it's compensated for the level difference. So the 2.1 inches we found on the first measurement was actually 1 inch over because the surface was 1 inch below the carpet. And so all of this is compensated for. You do nothing to it at all. It's all done for you. So now we have a table of measurements. This is compiled by taking the data from the last table we saw. It's automatic, you don't have to do anything, but you do have to look here. If you look here, you will see you've got a minus 1.1. Well, we want absolute numbers, we don't want relative. And to get absolute numbers, all we have to do is put 1.1 into this cell up here. It's called normalizing the data. That's what we're going to be doing. So now the data is normalized, you can see it's displayed here, and below it you'll see there's a table and it's suddenly turned pink. That's fine. The reason we make that turn pink is just to alert you to the fact there's an issue and that you should investigate further. So now that the data's in the table, we can safely look at the graphs to see the shape of the foundation. Here we have a graph, topographical, like mountains and ranges. You can see this foundation has a considerable tilt to it. So there's movement in this foundation. We already know that because we've got cracks in the ceilings and movement in the floorboards, indicating that there is some sort of structural movement going on. There are a series of graphs that you can look at, but the most important ones are on sheet 5 and 7. This graph here illustrates the differences in the levels as we go from the front of the building to the rear of the building. That's this graph here. This one illustrates the changes in elevation as we go from the right-hand side of the building to the left-hand side. And there's more discussion about that later in the white paper.